everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Kat, known as phamerina.planning here on YouTube and on Instagram, and today's video is a plan with me for the week of July 15th through July 21st using this blueberry kit from Miss Meow, foiled in silver. This is my first of her recipe kits that I'm ever using, and I'm really excited to use another Miss Meow kit because she's one of my favorite shops. I also pulled in some deco bits from The Giving Girl and one of the freebies from, oh my goodness, Two Little Bees from when they opened over the summer. So she also released a blueberry kit at the time. I already had this one, so I didn't feel the need to pick up that blueberry kit, although it probably been smart for me to pick up the florals, but we're moving on. The reason I say that is because Regina, the owner of Miss Meow, she's currently out on maternity leave. She will be coming back periodically, from my understanding, to release things for Q4, as long as within her capacity. But, she's got to spend time with her babe, and I totally understand that. So, whatever Regina can give us, I will totally take. So for this week, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to switch it up. So I believe I saw Sita from Starlight Paper Studio do this first. I put my sidebar on the, I'm left and right challenged here, on the right side of the page rather than the left side of the page, just to have a different look. The sidebar probably would have turned out the same, regardless of which side the sidebar was on. Although it works out better this way because the fashion person that I will be using from The Giving Girl, from that blueberry, was it it was one of her Twinkle Tuesdays. I think it was the Forget Me Not one. It was the blue centered one. I cannot remember. I believe she still has her Twinkle Tuesdays still up in the shop. So if you're interested in the artwork that is featured on the Giving Girl sheets, you probably can still pick them up. So I think it would have looked different because of the orientation of the fashion person, but I like how it came out this way. So back to what's going on. In my sidebar, I pulled in the film strip, the one with the scene on it, I believe. I probably talked about it in a haul. I don't think I talked about it in a plan with me, but I've found it easy to use film strips that aren't pre-populated. So having ones that are pre-populated were a little more, it's a different mindset for me. It's not like a difficult task, but it's a different mindset. So I pulled in that, layered some deco behind it, and then I pulled in both of the strips that had the grayish bluish gingham to line this side. I kind of wish I bought another one of the deco kits, so I had more of the torn papers, because it's a little unbalanced. I think they're both on this side of the spread from my recollection. We'll find out as we go through the video. But it's a little unbalanced because of where the deco sheets lie. Or not the deco sheets, the torn strips. But, when you don't fully map things out, you kind of just fly by night this stuff. This is what happens. So I knew I wanted to pull the girl into one of the Polaroid frames. The issue is the first time I laid it down, the little box beside her was really off center, and I did debate whether I was going to live with it or not. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to live with it. So I struggled to get that in. And then there was a blue kind of wash of color in a frame on one of the other freebies. These are both freebies, FYI, I didn't say that, but these were freebies from that Twinkle Tuesday. I layered that behind that box. I just offset a little bit to make it a little interesting. And I really love how this fashion person came out in this top sidebar area here. I did realize at this point I didn't really map out what to do in the middle here. So I find this middle area is a little bit lacking. If I had thought about it a little bit more, if I had layered some more stuff, I feel like it might have turned out a little bit better. It's not that I'm unhappy with it. I love how this sidebar turned out. I just feel like it is missing something there, and I never really figured out what to put there. It just feels like it's missing something. That's all. And yeah, so that's my sidebar. I really love how it turned out. And then just adding more foil bits. Why? I never said why I was using this kit. I just wanted to because it's the summer of blue. That's why. I had a bunch of blue kits for the summer, so that's why I decided to use it. And, you know, I don't always have to have like an event reason to use a kit. So I saw the scene from the deco kit, and I knew I wanted to pull that in somewhere. And for me, it was trying to figure out how to layer these boxes so that they didn't look too formulaic. Like they didn't look has a staircase realistically. And then I pulled in some of the watercolor swatches from JK Creates to layer behind it, bring in more of the deco. I thought it was really cute to pull in this little crate of blueberries as if we just picked the blueberries from this blueberry orchard. That's a thing, right? I don't actually really know. I've never picked blueberries myself. I've picked apples, I've picked pumpkins, I've picked sunflowers, but I've never picked blueberries. So I don't know if that's actually a thing. If you've noticed, I do have these florals from Nikki Plus 3 because I did not buy the florals when this kit was released. And I only had like larger florals, and I feel like, well, the last time I did a Miss and Meow kit, or any kit, without any of the small florals, I was struggling a lot because I didn't have enough florals to scatter throughout the kit. So I kind of panic bought something from Nikki Plus 3 to kind of coordinate with this kit, and that's what I ended up on. The deco kit does give you a little bit of small florals, but it's not enough to use throughout the spreads. And of course, I lined my boxes with the Dainty Dot liners from Pretty Pink Co, and I made use of these intertwined swirls that are just so indicative of Regina style. Like, if you think of Miss and Meow, you think of these swirls. Like, if you see them, you know they're a Miss and Meow kit if you see them anywhere. I think this is the other area where I brought in one of the torn papers, because now I had the job of figuring out how to cover up this July in a way that wasn't too obvious that I was trying to cover up a date. I understand why people really like undated planners. I'm definitely contemplating. I'm probably gonna just get an undated planner for next year. And then, layering my date covers. Since I pulled the floral into the top, the large floral washi trim, I didn't feel the need to decorate it too much other than adding a little bit of silver foil floral bits here and there. Wednesday is always the toughest date because it's got the longest word. So I threw in a little blueberry to cover up the rest of Wednesday. And then I figured might as well scatter these blueberries throughout the date cover area / date covers to kind of make the kit a little more cohesive, to make the spread, not the kit, to make the spread a little bit more cohesive. And then I'm just repeating the same thing on the other side. I think this is now the second kind of monochromatic kit that I've used. The first one was the In the Sand kit, and now I have this blueberry kit, and both are blue. Like I said, it's the summer of blue. No idea why, but it was for me. I did have to trim down the floral washi trim a little bit just because it was peeking up over that little torn edge, and I didn't want it to show. So rather than try to peel the whole sticker up, I was like, just cut it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just cut it. No one's gonna know. And then, of course, I will layer the date dots over top. Date covers over top, and I will bring in the dates, I think, later. Maybe, I don't remember if I forgot to do them on camera or not. But I know I definitely put the dates down before finishing up the spread for the day. So nothing too crazy, like I said. I did struggle with where to put the box for, what is that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, that's Thursday. I didn't film it, but I debated off camera for a while on where to put that Thursday box, because I could have put it at the top where I did now, or I could have put it at the bottom, but then it would have really looked like a staircase, and I didn't know if I wanted that. I put it down and I stared at it for quite a while. And then I came to the realization I just should put it at the top. Don't worry about it. It looks much better that way. So in a Miss Meow recipe kit, she does have the recipe in the center. So the recipe for this one was blueberry muffins. So I added the blueberry muffin deco there to, call to the kit. And at this point, I realized I didn't have room for a flat lay. So I think most every other Miss Meow kit I've done a flat lay in the sidebar. And I was like, I gotta do a flat lay somewhere. Luckily, there was a box already pre-made with a flat lay. So all I did was take the cute little shoes that were on one of the pages of the deco kit and put it at the bottom. And I'm calling that my flat lay for Miss Meow kit. So I could still say that I've done a flat lay for every Miss Meow kit that I've done so far. Don't fight me on that one. But yeah, these full boxes were really cute. I do love the light peachy color that she pulled in. It's a great contrast to the blues here. I love that house scene. I love the gingham. And then that was pretty much the base. It wasn't that, that deep or that exciting, I don't think. Not a lot of layering, but sometimes simplicity be the way to go. So Monday, we start with Coffee Monday. And then I did note at some, I forget which video it was, but I'm like, I've never pulled in her lace. It's just a very strange sticker for me. I don't know why, because I don't really use headers. That's one thing I've noticed is I don't really use headers anymore, unless it's one of those old school kits, I guess, if you want to call it that, where, the boxes are in line with the columns, but I don't really pull in headers anymore. I'm trying to remember. We'll see as we go through this plan with me if I pull in any headers for this. But that was how I was originally envisioning using those lace bits or headers, but I didn't use any. So this was the day we came back from the shore, but before we came back from the shore, we didn't want to come home too early because it was on Monday and we were going to have to travel through Philly. So we didn't want to have to get stuck in the Philly congested traffic, because traffic around Philly is terrible. Don't even try. If you can take public transit, please just take public transit into Philly. It'll make your life so much easier. But before we left, we played at the playground. We played for quite a while. It was a very sunny day. We probably should have put on more sunscreen. I mean, we made sure Bub had sunscreen, but we as adults should have put on more sunscreen. But it was really fun. He played around the playground. Then we came home and we started unpacking. And that night for the bath time, we played with all of his rubber duckies, because he had so many rubber duckies from the boardwalk, from that shop I was talking about in Cape May. He had so many rubber duckies. We didn't know what to do with them. He still loves them. I'm beginning to think his favorite animal was rubber ducks. Well, not rubber ducks, ducks. Thus his obsession with rubber duckies. But he loves them. And I am like, it's very cute. I love it. It's so cute. Then on Tuesday, I got my Happy Mail from Starlight Paper Studio. I believe this was the BTS sale that occurred in June. So I got that Happy Mail. Then something I don't want to talk about. And then I filmed the haul segment because I got my Happy Mail. I'm trying to be better about filming. Well, about either filming, if it's a lot of mail at once, I'm going to try to film it on the day, because I like to put my stickers away. I think I've talked about it before. If it's a lot of small, like itty bitty packages, I'm trying to accumulate it. So, do one shot filming rather than a bunch of filming. But I don't really have a preference either way. Well, actually I do have a preference. It's, film it, put it away, because I like to put things away as soon as I can. So that was Tuesday. I've talked through Wednesday. What was Wednesday? So Wednesday, I talked about stickers with my friends on Instagram. I love you guys. People do not understand the obsession, I don't think. It's starting to hit obsession point. And then I came home and we had a little dance party with Bub and my cousin and my husband. We had just, danced in the living room. It was very cute. It's so cute when kids start becoming little people. Like, you gush over the, not dumbest things, but you gush over the silliest little things. So on Thursday, I made coffee, put it in a to-go cup, and then as I was running out the door, got in the car, drove about 10 minutes away and realized that I left the coffee on the kitchen table at home and I was not turning around for it. It is okay. And then I worked on captions. So I'm trying to be very intentional with realizing that not everybody is as able-bodied as I am. I also turn on captions for some YouTube videos for, when I don't want to turn the volume all the way up. But there are people who are hard of hearing, who cannot hear. So I'm trying very hard to make sure that my videos have captions. So I was working on captions. What I do is I run the video through some sort of AI. It makes a transcript for me. I go in and I edit it because it always spells my name as F-A-M, and there's other words that it doesn't catch quite so well. So I'm trying to make sure that when I go through those transcripts that they are accurate. I know I say a lot. It's something I'm working on. But it's important for me to make sure that my videos are accessible to everybody. So that is why I spend some extra time, even though I do have a program running the transcripts. And I know people can turn on the transcripts for YouTube, but I try very hard to make sure that the videos are accessible that way. So I do believe all of my Plan With Me's at this point have transcripts. I can't make any promises on the hauls because those videos are so long and I talk so rambly. And I know I'm watching the day by day go on in front of me, but that is why I was working on transcripts. That was a very long-winded way of me explaining why I do that. And then I finished, Thursday? I finalized the class questions for the collab that Christina and I were doing, and we, okayed them. On Friday, there was an ice cream social at work. It's part of our kind of celebrations at work. I got Happy Mail, which was the Saucy Stickers Enchanted Celebration. I am still in love with that kit. I cannot wait to use it. And then I got the D-Stash, and then we went out for dinner that night. We got dinner and drinks at this little kind of sports bar called PJ Wilhan's. I know there's quite a few of them. So, I'm not sure if they're local to Philly or if they're like how big of a chain it is. But they're not bad. They're not great, but they're not bad either. So Saturday, we had breakfast at our diner. I vacuumed house, and Bub was actually away this weekend at his grandma's. So we went to IKEA because I've been debating on getting a new desk. And my husband said, if you get a new desk, I'll totally use your desk. So the reason I want a new desk is because the brown is not as aesthetically pleasing. It's just a different look, and my husband could use a desk. It's a flex desk, more or less. He can use it. My son can use it, but my desk is my desk. So we went to IKEA, picked out a desk. We built the desk, and I'm very happy with my desk. It's the desk you are looking at right now. Yes, it is the desk on the screen right now. Duh, this happened in the past. And then on what else? What is this? Sunday, we did a grocery run. I hung pictures, and the reason why Bub was with my family was because he went to the beach. We have chores that need to get done around our house, and home projects that we want to get done. That's why I was hanging pictures around the house. So that's why we did not go to the beach. But I will always let Bub go to the beach whenever he can. I saw a few people had used the Polaroids as a way to mark something in their spreads, but I didn't think about it, so I didn't have enough room to do that. So that's why I did not do it. I told myself, Kat, do that, but I never did. And then I finished the night with editing videos, and here is a wiggle of the side. Why do I feel this need to call it out? You can see what's going on the screen, I guess. I really love how this spread came together. I love the blues. I love the green. And I love how the peachy color works, makes it all cohesive. Not cohesive. That's not the right word. I just like this color palette. There's enough high contrast colors, if you remember from my last Play With Me, that I can work with this very easily. These are the leftovers from this kit. Again, I will probably be pulling this into a bullet journal spread. I did not use any headers. Look at that. I knew it. Didn't use any headers. I kind of, since I tend to do tilted boxes, I don't really use headers all that often, especially if I have either a lace washi or a thin scallop washi to pull in to divide my day cover area from my day by day. So this is how the spread turned out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would love it if you liked and subscribed and or leave a comment too. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!